Hello, good Sunday morning to you. It's pretty early on the East Coast. It is about 9:15. We're going to go over a couple things today. I'm feeling a little bit better. I don't know how that's possible, but God willing, we'll keep this going, right? I'm going to go over this gentleman, John Bolton. We're going to go over the Senior Executive Service. We're going to go over the Omnibus Bill. We're going to go over March for Our Lives, and we're going to touch a little bit on the Vegas shooting, some stuff coming out about that, hopefully in the near future. So let's talk about what everyone's talking about, and that is the Senior Executive Service. Sorry about that. So everyone is asking, they're kind of starting to figure out, what is this Senior Executive Service and what is it going to do? Well, basically, I'm going to tell you right now what it does. The Senior Executive Service, SES, is the lead in America's workforce as the keystone of the Civil Service Reform Act of 1978. The SES was established to ensure that the executive management of the government of the United States is responsive to the needs, policies, and goals of the nation, and otherwise is of the highest quality. These leaders possess well-owned executive skills and share a broad perspective on government and a public service commitment that is grounded in the Constitution. They hold key positions in the just below the presidential appointees, and they have a very close network within the federal workforce. They operate and oversee nearly every government activity in approximately 75 federal agencies. So this is who is going to build the wall. And this is part of the Omnibus bill, which is something that Trump signed in that is really controversial to a lot of people. I don't think a lot of people are following it. I think they're just jumping the gun on how this bill kind of leans for Dems, but Trump can do whatever he wants to with this. It's pretty important. He can put whatever he wants to into this bill also, and then pass it. So therefore, he gets to do what he wants to do with it, which is very, very good for us. So I'm just, going through the Great Awakening. Since I was gone, Calm Before the Storm subreddit was deleted. Now we're on to the Great Awakening subreddit. And this is the gentleman I was talking about, was Thomas Paine. This is his YouTube channel, American Intelligence Media. Please follow it because it is very, very well done. Touches on so many key points, and the guy is way smarter than your Jerome Corsi there. So yeah, follow Thomas Paine. Look at his videos. I mean, they're incredible. So it says in here, he mentions the Hallman Rule, and the Hallman Rule says that these people that are within the SES are trying to get out of it because Trump's coming for them. So they want to retire so they get to keep their pension, they want to keep their money. But what Trump can do is that he can change, using the Hallman Rule, he can basically change their salaries up to where they get paid $1 per year, which is hilarious, and I hope he does it because he can do it. And it says right here, if Barack Hussein Obama wrote the executive order to prohibit firing of the SES, President Trump can nullify Hussein's executive order. That's what somebody says. I am sure Trump and company have thought through eliminating them, whether through members leaving because of the pay or leaving because they have been found out about, or if Trump writes another executive order to wipe out Obama's, like you said. In any case, it is awesome. It's very true. You know, he could do so much with this, and you know, he's basically just playing cat and mouse with them, with all the cabal. We've won, okay? We've won this, and now it's just a is Trump manipulating it in his favor. It's hilarious. Um, yeah, so let's talk about this guy, John Bolton. He is now the National Security Advisor, designated to the United States. A lot of people think this gentleman is a neocon, and is a globalist. That is not the case, and I'll get to that in a second. John Robert Bolton is an American diplomat and attorney who is currently the National Security Advisor designate of the United States. He is expected to begin his tenure as National Security Advisor on April 9th, 2018. His political views are nationalist and conservative. On foreign policy, his views have widely been described as neoconservative and hawkish, though he rejects the term. Neoconservative and similar to current President Donald Trump. He doesn't take no shit from anybody. I can tell you that right now. You know, just something funny, but something that came down I heard through the grapevine was that someone told him to shave. Trump told him to shave the mustache, the bushy mustache, and yeah, this sucker right here, and he said, "No, I'm not gonna do it. I do my own thing. I'll work with you." But yeah, he's very strong-willed, and that's what we need. This guy's gonna wipe out the cabal within the government. I'm telling you, this is what we're all hearing. Yeah, so yesterday I went over the Omnibus bill, and I touched on it rather, and you know, it looks like we're going to see a lot of things being paid for, not coming out of the taxpayers' money, which is amazing. So this is some really good news, right? Really cool stuff. I want to go to a tweet real quick. This is I'm sorry. We'll go here. We'll go to the tweet. This is Trump's tweet. Because of the $716 billion gotten to rebuild our military, many jobs were created and our military is rich again. Building a great border wall with drugs, poison, and enemy combatants pouring into our country is all about national defense. Build wall through M. So yeah, I mean, basically, this wall will keep the opioid epidemic down. It's going to keep out murderers down. It's going to keep out illegal immigrants down from coming in here, and then the Dems using them as, votes. This is what they do. They pander to the illegals to get votes. Excuse me. And it's sickening, and it's over with. We're not worried about this anymore. The wall's going up. The part of San Diego in California where there isn't a wall, and where they have these sanctioned cities, he has ICE down there. He has the National Guard down there. No one is getting through. No one. So, the wall is such a great idea. It's really good. It's going to help America out a ton. It's not about division of race or anything like that. It's not any of that. It's keeping the criminals and the drugs out from coming up through the southern border. That's all it is. There's no racial debacle behind it. He's not doing that. He's doing that to keep America safe, man. To keep it safe and to keep it clean of drugs, because we all know that the drug epidemic in all parts of America are terrible with these opioids. So we can go from here to this. This is the breaking down of the bill. Trump played them at their own game. Omnibus spending bill is not equal to a budget bill. It is more like a wish list that President Trump has absolutely no obligation to fulfill. Obama did the same thing for 8 years, and in doing so, robbed the American people by using that money for nefarious reasons. Today, Trump notified the Speaker of the House of our national emergency status, which means now Trump can use that entire omnibus spending bill towards whatever he wants, including but not limited to building up our military, building the wall, and going after immigration, etc. Brilliant. So, very cool. You know, he knows what he's doing. You know, the man is not dumb. And like I said yesterday, you have all these people that are tied to Alex Jones, which is tied to the CIA, Lionel Nation. I'm gonna show you what this guy looks like, just to fill you in. Lionel Nation. Here you go. I can't ever come across his last name. What is this dude's name? He's got a huge YouTube channel, but he's losing it really quickly.
Do you notice the media game that's being played right now, especially?
Ooh, I can't let that play. Yeah, it says these are the last. These are the last ones. You know, where's the promised wall? Trump's acolytes ready to, you know, John Bolton budget capitalization. He's not feeling any of this, and you know, we don't listen to him because he's tied to Alex Jones. He's tied to Jerome Corsi, who is the host of Lionel Nation. Michael William LeBron, popularly known as Lionel, is an internationally syndicated American television host. Like I said, he's been on InfoWars a ton of times, and he's the one who's now bashing and took down the Thomas Paine's last interview with him. He's been gotten to, somebody either dropped him a ton of money or threatened him. So yeah, he's a bum. Don't follow him. Let's go into this real quick. True Pundit, also Thomas Paine, runs this, and it says, after threats, FBI's Las Vegas moles promise to break shooting mystery wide open with bombshells. Holy smokes. The rogue faction of the FBI leftover disciples of the Andrew McCabe School of Federal Law Enforcement have waged a manhunt to find FBI personnel who are leaking real details about the Mandalay Bay massacre to independent media. In lieu of these threats, which were likewise directed at True Pundit Fort's investigative series Fear and Lying in Las Vegas. I love the play on words. Federal sources and True Pundit will respond on Sunday and throughout the coming days with a riveting story twists. That's today, Sunday. Story twist that promises to change the face of Mandalay Bay shooting massacre narrative. People want to threaten us and FBI insiders for trying to tell us the truth, said Thomas Paine, True Pundit's chief muckraker. Then we shall give them more truths, and believe me when I tell you, you won't want to miss what is coming. So, you know, they released a little bit of footage of Stephen Paddock going in and out of Mandalay Bay. It's not enough. It's nothing. Walking in with duffel bags. I don't believe it. I don't think it's real. I think just show us a camera, you know? Just show us all of it. They have it, you know? They won't show us any of the Pentagon being attacked either on 9/11. I mean, show us the stuff. We know you're already found out. You already found out. Now I want to talk about March for Our Lives. Oh my. It's very funny. So we know what all this is about. This is about the four people from Parkland, those four kids who went to that school. So it says right here, March for Our Lives. March for Our Lives is planned demonstration scheduled to take place on March 24th, that was yesterday, in Washington, D.C. and throughout the United States. Students organizers are planning the march following the Stoneman Douglas High School shooting, widely reported in the media as being the tipping point for gun control legislation in calibration with the nonprofit organization Everytown for Gun Safety. Okay. Oops, sorry. So if you've seen pictures of this, there's Twitter photos and stuff like this of just bus after bus after bus, bringing in people. Don't we remember seeing this with Antifa being bussed in, funded by George Soros. So March for Our Lives. So if we look into this, Everytown for Gun Safety has both support funds and an action fund. So we'll look down here and it says, I'll zoom in for you so you can read it. Right here. The Everytown for Gun Safety Action Fund is funded through Act Blue. Act Blue is a Democratic National Committee external money funding operation dedicated to funneling donations of their patrons to the electoral campaigns of the Democratic National Committee. Oh, would you look at that? Since its inception in 2004, Act Blue has collected over $600 million for their political beneficiaries. Imagine that. Now I want to talk about this guy right here. Real quick, I cannot say his name, and you know why. This gentleman right here.
As an allergy.
Yeah, you saw him. This guy, this boy. He's 16 years old. Is he? There's no way he's 16 years. Where does he find the time to do all this? Where does he find the time to go on CNN every other day? When does he find the time to go to these rallies? All of this stuff, him and his 4 to 5 friends, where do they find the time to do this stuff? Aren't they in school? School's not out. School's not out. School gets out in May. This guy is not 16 years old. He's not in school. When I was in school, when we were all in school, we had to study. We're hanging out with friends. We were thinking about girls or guys or whatever. We weren't marching and going to get interviewed by CNN over and over and over and over again. It's just really strange to me. It's strange to me how people aren't saying thinking the same thing that I just said. It's just very it just seems logical to think, where does he find the time? Where are his parents? All this kind of stuff. It's just so obvious he's not the age he says he is, and he's a complete actor. Let's see right here. I just have so much stuff to. Yeah, so we can look at this real quick. Yes, this is just touching again on the omnibus bill. An omnibus spending bill may have some instructions as to how the money will be spent, but Obama ignored them. He spent the money or didn't spend it. However he wanted to, and Congress didn't do a thing about it because they couldn't. I think our president observed how this happened year after year. He is bound to realize that those appropriations for different things in these omnibus bills are merely suggestions. So like Obama, President Trump can spend this money on whatever he wants to or not spend it. Repurpose funds, foreign operations, the unobligated balances available under the healing, bilateral economic assistance. He can just use it for whatever he wants to. Let's see, 758 repurpose funds in accordance with that repurpose funds, the Consolidated Appropriations Act 2018, I hereby designate as an emergency requirement. All funding is so designated by the Congress in the Act pursuant to sections 251B2A. So, A. Emergency appropriations overseas, contingency operations, global war on terrorism. If for any fiscal year appropriations for discretionary accounts are enacted. Emergency appropriations overseas, contingency operations, global war on terrorism. So I guess he's using this to go after I guess he's just using the money funded to go after ISIS originally, and terrorists that were created by the cabal, funded by the Obama administration. But let's go back up. The details of this action are set forth in the enclosed memorandum from the Director of the Office of Management and Budget. Trump letter to Paul Ryan. Sincerely, Donald J. Trump. Clock activated. Red Castle, Green Castle. Clock activated. Stage 5 of 5. I'll never sign another bill like this again, because he won't have to, because everything he wants to do, spend, is in this bill. He doesn't have to do it again. I'm loving it, man. Loving it. So yeah, we went over a good bit. It was kind of all over the place, but again, like I said, I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. So if you found this informative and enjoyed it, please subscribe. You know, I've been messaging you guys as soon as you text me, or as soon as you message me on YouTube. A lot of bots on here too, and a lot of shills I've noticed. But one last thing I wanted to touch on, I'm going to start a new channel just in case the algorithms get a lot of us banned again. I will post that in the description below, and if you want to just subscribe to that channel too, I'm going to create it little, later on this afternoon. So yeah, so we can just keep pushing out the information. Follow Thomas Paine. He's great. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good Sunday. See ya. Bye.